There are 14 main Assassin's Creed games, and one of them is the best one. But I'm not interested in that one. I'm interested in the one that has the best intro. And in my research, I figured out that there's 4 assassins that already start out as members of that order. We don't get to see how they got their hidden blades. Before we begin, if you feel like what I'm counting as the intro for each of these games feels arbitrary, that's because it is. I'm just giving each game enough time for the main plot to be set in motion. So let's start with Assassin's Creed. You see a cutscene of an assassin killing some Templars and running away. Then a brief tutorial of controls amongst scary, faceless people, while voices talk about your condition. Next thing's next, you wake up in a lab. You're revealed to be Desmond Miles. He's been kidnapped by this organization because he comes from a line of assassins, and he's got information they want. To get it, they force him to enter the Animus, a machine that allows one to tap into the memories of their ancestors. More tutorial for your assassin abilities. Then you officially step into the shoes of Desmond's arrogant ancestor, Altair. He's on a mission to find something beneath the temple. You attempt to assassinate a high-profile Templar, but one of your nerd companions stops you. You then have to run away and return to your master. While confessing your failure, your nerd companion shows up, having recovered the items sought after. Then you have to defend the village from a Templar assault. French guy and old guy argue, you and some buddies jump off a tower to prove that assassins are tough, then you spring a trap. Master then reminds you of the assassin tenets. Apparently, you failed them. So of course, he stabs you. All right, we're gonna have to pick up the pace. I have dad duty in like 20 minutes, so. Assassin's Creed 2. Desmond recaps the first game and then gets into the Animus. We then see an Italian woman give birth to a little Italian baby boy. You then press buttons to move the baby's legs, arms, and head. I'm a big fan of any game that has baby gameplay. This baby is named Ezio. The blonde lady pulls Desmond out of the Animus, and together you escape from Esturgo, allowing you to do combat as Desmond. His moves are kind of ridiculous. Lucy, the blonde lady, brings him to a secure facility to train him to be a modern-day assassin. She introduces him to the team, Tech Girl and Snooty British Guy. You then enter the Animus for training, where you step into the role of Ezio, who is in the middle of a street fight with a rival. This game's intro really takes its time, letting you get to know our new protagonist, Ezio. He likes to fight, he loves his family, he's a ladies' man. His father ends up being wrongfully imprisoned. He tells Ezio that back home, there's a hidden room with a chest, the contents of which he needs to take. In the chest is your assassin cloak and hidden blades. Long story short, his daddy gets killed and Ezio wants revenge. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Desmond again recaps the prior games. A strange angelic being speaks to Ezio and mentions Desmond. Ezio attempts to grab an artifact, but then gets Indiana Jones'd. You meet up with your uncle and then start killing people. I don't know what's really going on. Ezio does some chores for his fellow man. Then adult time with a lady. That gets rudely interrupted by a cannonball. The village is under attack and Ezio does his best to defend. Guy from intro kills uncle with pistol and somehow the bullet hits you. I didn't understand this. Leave a comment if you understood that. Ezio survives and gets his family to safety. Then he announces he's headed to Rome for revenge. Assassin's Creed Revelations. Another recap sequence. You start out in the Animus, only this time, you're Desmond, not one of his ancestors. You're in a weird liminal beach that kind of reminds me of Death Stranding, to be honest. This random guy informs you that you were plugged into the Animus to avoid dying. You have to keep exploring Ezio's story to live. Badass CGI cutscene of Ezio on a journey attempting to find a secret library of assassin knowledge. I think we all remember the trailer that showed this. The ghost of Altair shows you the way. After some shenanigans, you find out that you need 5 keys to access the library. And now it's time to find them. Oh, it's freaking hot in here. Let's go, go, go. Assassin's Creed 3. Desmond Dad gives the recap this time. You start out as Desmond. Is it just me or is he getting uglier? Team Assassin sets up camp in a cave. Enter the Animus for a really boring tutorial in the space Squidward went to be alone. The Animus shifts and you take on the role of ancestor Haytham Kenway. You enter an opera house just in time for the show. Haytham talks to his buddy Reginald, who needs to talk with HR. The real reason you're there, take out a target and collect a pendant, or rather, a key. Haytham is tasked with going to America and finding the storehouse that the key unlocks. You spend a decent amount of time on the ship to America. fighting, preventing mutinies, weathering storms, till finally, the destination is in sight. In America, you meet Ben Franklin and other members of the Order. You do a ton of missions for these guys, you sleep with a Native American lady, and then it is dramatically revealed that you've been a Templar this whole time. The real protagonist is the child of Hatham and the Native American lady, and you don't even play as him until like 3 hours into the game. Crazy. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. No more recaps, no more Desmond. We jump right into the perspective of our protagonist, Edward Kenway. He's having a really bad day. His ship is under attack. You immediately get a taste of the new naval combat. An assassin boards your ship just before it explodes. A brief flashback reveals that Kenway left his lady to be a privateer in the hopes of getting some money. We cut back to present where Kenway swims ashore with the assassin from earlier. He begs Kenway to help. Kenway attempts to rob him, and then the assassin runs. You chase him down and kill him. On his body, you find an artifact and a letter offering a reward. Kenway then disguises himself as the assassin in hopes of claiming that reward. You rescue a man named Steed Bonnet and set sail for your destination. You're pulled out of the Animus, where it's revealed that you're a new hire at Abstergo. Your goal is to mine Edward Kenway's life and find the most interesting pieces to put together an entertainment experience. You're quickly put back into the Animus. After a few scrapes and scuffles, you make it to the buyer, under the guise of Duncan Walpole. Through context, you figure out these men are Templars, and the assassin you killed, Duncan, was defecting to join them. You hand over the artifact to the governor, and he informs you that the Templars seek a place called the Observatory. Kenway decides he wants to find the observatory, sell it, and become rich. Assassin's Creed Rogue. You play as Shay Patrick Cormac. You immediately chase down a target who ends up being a fellow assassin. You find out that Shay has a bit of an authority issue, quickly getting to a fist fight with his captain. Pretty soon, you commandeer your own ship and fight off some enemy ships. Time to set sail to see your mentor. Once again, you're pulled out of the Animus as an Abstergo employee. You fix the server and then you jump back in. What a waste of time. Your mentor is a lady?
I'm no lady here.
Oh, my bad. After some training, surprise, surprise, gotta reclaim some powerful artifacts from some Templars. Look, the whole thing with this game is that the assassins make Shay recover some artifact, and that ends up causing an earthquake, which kills innocent people. So this causes him to turn into a Templar and start killing assassins. Lame. Wow, okay, I'm not good at going fast. Assassin's Creed Unity. You start out from the perspective of some medieval Templars who are under assassin assault. You play as some dude and you stop an assassin from stealing a book and an electricity sword. Some lady hacks into the Animus to inform you that Abstergo is brainwashing you. She then puts you into the shoes of little Arno. You get into some mischief before discovering your father dead. Cut to 13 years later, and you're recovering a watch you lost in a card game, which leads to a chase. Your adopted father gets you out of trouble, and then heads to pick up Elise, his daughter. Desperate to see Elise, Arno sneaks into a high society gathering. They do a kiss, but then you have to sneak out. As you exit, you find your papa murdered again. But this time, the blame is pinned on you, and you're placed in prison. You meet a rude guy there who calls you Piss Pop, an assassin who knew your father, who also was an assassin. He gives you some training, you both escape prison, and then he tells you to find him when you're ready to be an assassin. Upon returning home, you find out Elise's Diddy was a Templar, and she is meant to follow in his footsteps. With nothing left, Arno decides to join the assassins. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. The game opens with, I think, the same lady from Unity giving you a mission briefing. Looking for a piece of Eden through the lives of Jacob and Evie Fry, twin assassins in Victorian London. Jacob and Evie are getting a mission briefing. Take out 2 Templars. You start out as Jacob, do some sabotaging, do some brawling, and assassinate a target. Escape on top of a train, fight more bad guys, jump off before the train falls off a cliff, and crack a terrible joke. Now you play as Evie, who is also on a train. Make your way to the front, kill bad guys, and unlink the engine. In the train yard, you find the second target. But before you deal with her, you must infiltrate an underground laboratory, find a piece of Eden that is being experimented on, and kill a scientist. The lab starts to explode, so Evie hightails it out of there, so technically mission accomplished. But the Fry twins are dissatisfied with how slowly London is being rid of Templars. they decide to take matters into their own hands and head to London. Assassin's Creed Origins. We get a brief glimpse of a happy Egyptian warrior. Then, a 1 year later card shows the same man taking vengeance on some man who wronged him. Next thing you know, you're learning the new combat against a big guy. Make your way out of the ruins and save your friend from... It's hard to read my handwriting. Make your way out of the ruins and save your friend from some bad guys. You announce that you have killed one of the masked ones. You, aka Bayek, travel back home on camel. After some rest, you discuss the next man you must kill. But this is an RPG now, so you have to get better weapons and gear. After some side quests, you can take out this guy. A flashback reveals the nature of Bayek's tragedy. 5 masked men took Bayek and his son hostage, and in an attempt to kill one of these men, Bayek accidentally stabs and kills his own son. Now our motivation is set. Find the masked men and avenge your son. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Some Spartan soldiers are preparing for battle against the Persians. You gain control of one of these Spartans and get familiar with combat. Then you get ripped from the game to play as Layla, the new, far worse Desmond. After you're done scrolling TikTok on your phone, you'll look up and see that you're back in ancient Greece and the Layla part is over. You have a choice to play as a man or a woman in this game. You collect some debts and then have a debilitating flashback of training with your Spartan father. Father tells you that you will bring glory to the family. Back in the present, you continue collecting debts. A bunch of side quests later, and a dude named Elpiner, whatever, hires you to kill a man in a faraway land. To get there, you'll need a ship. So you save a captain named Barnabas by killing the Cyclops. Before you set sail, you find out the man you've been hired to kill is none other than your father. A flashback reveals that Alexio's sister was going to be sacrificed. In an attempt to save her, you knock the sacrificer off a cliff. For this act, your father then throws you off the cliff. Back in the present, you set sail to begin your Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You begin as a young child named Eivor, a gender-neutral looking child, as you will get to choose between 2 genders later. I know what you're thinking. We only get 2 options? I'm offended. You enter a bustling mead hall. Apparently this celebration is in honor of your clan being joined to the king. Dad gets a little cringe at the party, but trouble in paradise, the village is under attack, and you are too young to fight. Your mom puts you on a horse and tells you to go. But mama ain't raised no bitch. Unfortunately, you are not able to stop the bad guys from killing your dad, your mom, your horse drowns in a frozen river, and a wolf chomps on your neck. But thanks to some crows and a hatchet, you prevailed. Brief interruption to choose gender, time jumps, and Eivor is now grown up, caught by the same man who killed his parents. But you manage to escape, rescue your crew, and set sail for home. Your brother also returns home and brings a couple of assassins with him, who he befriended. They gift you with your very own hidden blade. Then you and your brother decide to go conquer the world, build an army, and ultimately kill your parents' killer. Assassin's Creed Mirage. Some guy named William Miles does a voiceover and sets the stage for our setting and new hero, Basim. You wake up from a nightmare and your lady friend nags you about working for the assassins since they don't pay very well. But Basim is in it for the cause. That being said, he is itching for more important missions instead of fetch quests. He attempts to impress this lady assassin who sounds like she smokes 3 packs of cigarettes a day by stealing a chest that the hidden ones are after. In the chest lies a mystical artifact that is like some sort of hologram thing. Well, my camera overheated and I lost some footage, but it's okay. It's a new day, and I have a drink now. Continuing on with the Mirage intro, Smoker Lady confronts Basim and tells him he must leave with her as everyone that was involved with the thievery is going to be hunted down and killed. Over the next few months, you train under the Smoker Lady, and once you're able to grow a beard, you're finally ready to be sent to Baghdad, where you're gonna kill some members of the evil order. Assassin's Creed Shadows is set in feudal Japan. The game starts you out as Diogo, a slave to some Portuguese priests. They're seeking safe passage from a local lord. He grants it, but only if he can keep Diogo, in who he sees potential. Cut to months later, and Diogo is a full-blown samurai, laying waste to a village with your Japanese daddy. You go by the name Yasuka now. Yasuka. You are sent forward to kill the lord of the castle. We then cut to the perspective of our second protagonist, Naue, and her father, members of some shinobi clan seeking to protect this land. Your dad gives you a hidden blade and tells you to go find a box and protect it, and he's going to meet you there. You find it, but then it is immediately stolen by a masked samurai, and you get knocked unconscious. Your father comes and saves you. While your father rests, you attempt to get the box back. You sneak into a fortress, kill a samurai, and take the box back. But on your way out, you're shot by a rifle. 2 masked figures emerge from the shadows. But once again, Daddy comes to the rescue. But then 10 more masked figures spawn in. They kill your dad, take the box, and leave you for dead. So yeah, in case you didn't figure it out, the 4 assassins that I was talking about in the beginning that you don't get to see really how they became assassins, that's going to be Altair, Shay, whatever the heck, I already forgot his name, the Irish guy from Assassin's Creed Rogue, and the 2 Fry twins, Jacob and Evie. They start out already as like full-blown members of the Assassin Order, and you don't see how exactly they enter into it. And I just think that's kind of interesting, you know? All these other games, we get the origin of how they become assassins, but just not for these 4. I don't know, I thought it was cool. All right, so let's figure out which intro is the best, and to do that, we'll just start eliminating. Let's see here. I can go ahead and immediately toss out Brotherhood and Revelations. They're continuations of Ezio's story, so they kind of start you out in the middle of the story, and if we're just isolating intros here, I want to understand what's going on, and being thrust into the middle of things is not very engaging. Let's see, we can go ahead and throw out Black Flag, even though that's the best Assassin's Creed game. The intro's nothing special, and honestly, the protagonist is pretty unlikable. He's just selfish, he just wants money, it's pretty one note. Yeah, Rogue just didn't pull me in. Not a big fan of Shay. He's not very charismatic. You can get rid of Syndicate. I really like the setting, but the story doesn't seem all that original. I'll get rid of Origins, even though I do think Bayek has a pretty tragic backstory in that he accidentally kills his own son. And I think the voice actor actually does a really good job of portraying rage when he kills that first masked. But other than that, a little bit boring, kind of a standard revenge tale. Odyssey, I really enjoyed the game as a whole, although it was definitely way too long. But yeah, story's nothing to write home about. Valhalla, I hated that game, and the intro is fine. How do you survive getting your neck chomped on like that by a wolf? I don't know. I don't understand it. Mirage, sorry, don't care about Bassam at all, or his really wanting to join the Creed. Shadows, I hated this game, didn't beat it. The intro's fine. It's fine. It's not bad. And again, just like with Origins, I feel like the main protagonist, Naue, or one of the main protagonists, gives her best performance there at the beginning, crying over the loss of her father. From that point onward, she is as wooden as a board. But yeah, let's get rid of it because we've got better contenders here. I'm going to get rid of Assassin's Creed 2. I know it's Ezio. We love Ezio. I love how much time it gives him to breathe as a new protagonist. We get to experience what he's like. It's a slow burn introduction to the character, and I really like that. But at the end of the day, it's sort of just a standard revenge tale. His father dies, and now he wants to. That's what motivates him. That's what sets things in motion. It's not the best. Assassin's Creed 1, I love the mystery of Abstergo, and it was like the game that I really enjoyed, cutting back and forth from present day back into the Animus. There's a lot of mystery there, and things that you want to understand what's going on. And it ends with you getting stabbed by your master, and it's like, what the heck? What's going to happen now? That being said, these other 2 are better. Assassin's Creed 3, I mean, I think this has a fantastic intro. Just the fact that you play as the antagonist for like 3 hours before you even realize that you're playing as the antagonist, I think is really cool. I can't think of another game that does that. And by the time you take control of the real protagonist, Connor, you're very familiar with Haytham. You know that he's cunning, he's charming, he's gonna be hard to take down. And plus, he's your father. I mean, it's like Star Wars, you know, Darth Vader. But for me, Unity takes the cake. I was surprised by this, but I just really like Arno. He's really charming. He's very much a swashbuckling hero. I love the way he stumbles through the city as you run away from the people that you steal your watch back from. He cracks jokes, but not in a way that I think is cringe. I think it's charming. And plus, he's got a real tragic backstory here, you know? Father gets assassinated, his second father gets assassinated, and then the blame is pinned on him. And then his sister slash best friend slash lover, turns out she's joining up with the Templars. So it really does feel like you have nothing left, so why not join the Assassins? I mean, that's how cults get you. They get you isolated, they give you a family, they give you a purpose, and then next thing you know, you're killing people. So anyways, yeah. Do you agree with my list? What's your favorite intro? Let me know in the comments below.